Pistol Shrimps Radio, the podcast is hilarious. Those guys are amazing. I wore my Gustav Klimt socks.
Look at that.
Yeah, Gustav Klimt, the Kiss.
I just had polka dots, but
yeah, those are good too. Yeah. Because of Jensen Karp's sock report.
Yeah, those guys are. I just find, I say a lot about these people is that individually they're all very funny. They all have their own style of comedy, and Maria and Amanda are pretty dry, and Molly is basically Chris Farley, and
she is hilarious.
She's so funny. I'll tell you a story after too about her, but I just found that as a team, they're like a troupe. They're like a big comedy troupe. They all have their own, but individually when you got them, it sort of kept the whole thing going, and I realized really quickly it had nothing to do with basketball. Like this whole film just had to follow these girls, and they were going to provide all the comedy. But those guys, the Pistol Shrimps Radio guys, are so funny. Like if you want now, you can go online and you can just listen to
their podcast is hilarious.
Yeah, and they know nothing about sports, and they just go like rants for hours. It was top 15 iTunes podcast last year. Yeah. Like and it's funny for Matt because I think he has 4 podcasts, and he's been in it for years, and he's like, I didn't think this was going to be the one that got me fans. Like he just did it as a joke.
Right.
It's just so ironic.
So the Molly story.
Okay, Molly. So so many things have happened to Molly since we started filming this. But
is she on The Bachelor?
Yeah, she got to the last rose. She did it herself, so she didn't get to anything. You gotta watch them. She's like in heaven. She dies, and then she's in heaven watching the last episode. And her new thing now is she's gonna win an Emmy. She's editing herself into the Emmys. But you'd think, so she was kind of just waiting until ABC was going to give her a cease and desist, because she thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to use this. They're working on a show together. She's going to have, out of this, they thought it was so funny that they want to do like a show with Molly, like either editing herself and stuff, or they just think that she's so funny, so they're developing, or like somewhere developing, maybe the pre-production stage right now of like an ABC digital show. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. So there's 26 teams. Do all the teams have the same kind of following as Pistol Shrimps, or are they sort of like superstars?
Well, Pistol Shrimps started it, so they're the team. Like Maria literally started that league, which blows my mind that there wasn't a women's league in LA. So they're kind of the popular team, but those other girls that are in there, the Chicago Bulls and the Space Glam, they have pretty good followings too. But like these games, I think one game had like 300 people there. Like it was packed. It's crazy. But yeah, the Pistol Shrimps are probably they have the most following. They're also in this like the C League. Like there's other leagues now, so they're in like the low of the low league. Just so funny to do a sports doc on a rugby basketball team that I just love that. I love these underdog stories like Bronies, but even I'm from Canada and we're just watching the Toronto Raptors and you're like, oh man, they lost this year, but they're all still millionaires. Right. Like they all win, right? I love doing it on the rec team. It was like the funniest thing to do.
And it's hilarious that it actually shows up on ESPN. Megan was telling me that she and her boyfriend were watching ESPN and they're like, oh my God, Aubrey Plaza is like a free agent now. But she is, she's a free agent.
Yeah, she's Aubrey's gonna be on a different team next year. Her boyfriend and her sister are on the Alley-Oopsies. I think she's announcing all this on...
Yeah, that was not...
Sorry, I'm not supposed to tell you. No, she's somehow doing like a big ESPN thing where she announces that she's a free agent and she's going to pick a team, but now you all...
It actually happened in April. It's okay. I found it this morning because Megan was like, we watched it, and I thought, that's not real. And so we were looking it up on the internet. It's what we do at work, really. It's just look things up on the internet. It happens. So do you guys have questions? No, really? Nobody? Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask about, so in the documentary, and this is something I really liked about it, you're very much, downplaying the celebrity aspect of it, but I did want to ask about that. Like, do they ever have people showing up at their games saying like, oh my God, Parks and Rec, or whatever else?
Oh yeah.
Right, so people showing up and being like celebrity hounds.
Yeah, and Stephanie Allen's girlfriend is Tig Notaro, so she's pretty big, and Sarah Silverman was at a game. But I think LA just has a lot of. There's always the one girl's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine too. One of the girls from Stephanie. Yeah, she's in the dance squad. But yeah, no, Aubrey's. It's actually like Aubrey kind of hates it. Like Tuesday nights is her night off of doing that. So she was when we first did the doc. She's like, don't make fun of this. This is like a big deal to me. You know, this is my getaway. And I think her going on ESPN and she talks about it on Jimmy Fallon and stuff, I think a lot of people have started to show up now, which, she went on those shows and talked about it, so it's kind of her fault, right? Why are you going on those shows?
Started the ball rolling, yeah.
Is Audrey's knee completely healed now?
Is Aubrey's knee healed?
No, like I mean, like torn an ACL as an adult is a really big deal. I think she had to miss some acting stuff too, which her managers aren't that happy about. So no, she's still out. I think she was out this whole season. Maybe in the fall she can come back. Yeah. She still goes to the games though. She goes and watches them.
So yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say it's so inspiring.
Cool.
It is incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Like this is something that Morgan Spurlock and I talk about. He's been a huge mentor of mine, but he always says, if you can make them laugh, you can make them listen. It's kind of like how I've gone about a lot of these films. Brony's being the same, and it's for me. I just find that there's a lot of documentaries that are really serious these days. You're like, oh man, that's a struggle to get through, and I just want to have fun making these things. And I love comedies, but yeah, it's a powerful women's story. It really turned out, and these girls, like they created all this. I feel like that's worth documenting. That's all it needs to be. So.
Well, you can tell that they're very serious about it having changed their lives.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've all really gained a lot of confidence from this. They didn't want me to make fun of it. You know,
Yeah.
they were like, I know we're a losing team, but don't dwell on that.
Yeah.
I was like, just win.
Well, and
I won't."
especially,
Yeah.
well, if you're around, they're going to win. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you can start going to more games. But especially in a place like LA, that you think that there is not that connection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very obvious all of the teams have connections with each other and with everybody. And I thought the whole, like, Aubrey just says, yeah, give me the ball. You know, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
Where can we get t-shirts?
Oh yeah.
Where can we get t-shirts?
And now they have socks.
Ooh, there we go.
They have a Shopify. They have their own little Shopify, and I think I should actually say the film got picked up by NBC, which is really incredible. We did, yeah, it was really cool. Oh, it was? Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about it, but NBC's like started this new thing called CISO, which is it's like Netflix for comedy. And this is the first movie that's been picked up. It got picked up at Tribeca, and it's a huge honor because these films are like, they're fun and they're funny, but it's hard to find a home for them sometimes. So yeah, it's gonna air, and I think CISO's gonna do some swag. I think they have some jerseys that they're doing and stuff, so they'll sell those.
Steve?
Well, what happened with Brony? Did you get to get it out there?
What happened with Brony Tail?
Yeah, Brony's, Netflix picked it up. Yeah, it's out there.
And it did real well. So what are you working on next?
Morgan and I will be working on quite a few more together. I have so many ideas right now that I just need to go home. I haven't been home since this thing finished. I've been on the road for like 3 months with it. So once you'll know. It'll be at SIFF, that's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta time it out correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was there anything you wish to include but you couldn't?
Was there anything you wanted to include but you couldn't?
Oh man. Yeah, there's this one guy. His name's Jerry, and he's like 90 years old, and he's kind of the Pan Pacific janitor, and like moves really slowly, and he had to always open all these doors for us. And he has like one of those huge rings of keys, and we'd like try one at a time. And it was so funny. I was like, oh man, I got to interview this guy. And Pan Pacific, Tracy was like, you absolutely cannot interview Jerry. Like I think they thought he was going to say something stupid, to be honest. And so I tried. I was like, Jerry, maybe would you want to do or I actually went up to him and said, is your name Jerry? And he goes, I'm afraid so. I was just like, I got to interview. And so we like started setting a light up, and they came over and they're like, what are you doing? Are you trying to interview Jerry right now? And I was like, no, we're gonna ask him about the early days of the Pan Pacific. They're like, no interviewing Jerry. And he's like, Jerry, you know this. Every time I was just like, oh man, imagine having like a funny joke and then having just Jerry end it, you know? It's like Sexy Rep. Imagine what Jerry would say about Sexy Rep. So, next time, I don't know.
Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Was there anybody involved aside from Jerry who was like balked at being included? Like, I was kind of surprised Sexy Rep showed up.
Oh yeah, he was honored. I don't think he knew, like, not everyone listens to the podcast, so I don't think he knew he was called Sexy Ref.
But once it's on CISO, he's gonna know that he's sexy.
Oh yeah, and his family and everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably good.
Is there anyone that didn't want it? Is the question anyone that didn't really want it?
Anybody that was like shy about being in a documentary?
Some of the girls didn't want me to follow, like it started kind of being a trend that we were following their day jobs all of a sudden, because we did Molly doing The Bachelor, and then we follow whoever was next, Melissa being a model. And I think Stephanie Allen and Tally were like, I don't really want you to come to my work, so like, all right, that's fine. But no, they were pretty cool with it. They really trusted my vision, like they really did. They all watched Bronies and they're like, all right, he's not that bad, he's fine. But Aubrey really helped that. I know this now, I didn't know it at the time, but she wasn't at a lot of games. She was only at like 3 or 4 that she was filming a movie, and she sent them a message and was like, trust this guy, he's all good. So I kind of got the praise, which is really nice. It's good.
So when does it launch on CISO?
June 16th.
June 16th?
Yeah, right away.
So you guys are like the last festival audience to
Yeah,
see
you
before
are
it
last,
goes
yeah.
out
We're doing
into the world.
We're doing a show in San Francisco where I'm living these days, and then we have an LA premiere on the 15th, and then it's out. So, 2
That's
weeks.
awesome.
Isn't it great?
Keep making movies time bright to come
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Please come
Yeah,
back.
I absolutely will come back. I was saying to you before, like you don't understand. SIFF is a really great festival. You guys have a really great city, and so thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Brent.